Ms Legalista here. Thank you for joining. This is going to be the first episode of the Scam Squad Showdown. Let me go ahead and bring that up so you can see what's going on. A new quiz concept that I'm testing out on my YouTube channel so that we can actually find out whether or not people know what they're supposed to be doing. Now, this is my first episode. I hope to launch this live soon. I'm going to do a countdown. I need to pick a date, a goal date. By then, everything will be set up. As you can see, I'm using AHA slides. And once I have that completely set up, you won't see AHA slides up there. The background will be a whole lot better. There are tons of things that I'm working on behind the scenes, but I wanted to go ahead and just sort of get this out there, uh, let you see the quiz sort of format that I'm going to be working with, and to get some feedback on some of this. And the questions that I've put together for this first episode are going to be pretty easy. They're going to be pretty easy. I guarantee you that this is not how it's going to always be. So these questions are really going to be about breaking news articles, things that are going on, some trends that we're seeing, data, resources, where to go, all of that kind of information. So today's is, like I said, is going to be pretty easy. So follow along. Let me know your comments and your thoughts on this. And actually, once I get it set up, it will be interactive once I'm doing these live. So you will be able to comment and vote your what your answers are. But let me go ahead and jump in, move this along just a little bit. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to also have some categories, and I'm not going to do this way. I don't know how I'm going to figure this piece out yet. While this says categories now, the way this is usually set up is for people. You would put people's names in there, people who want to play, and you can play, like literally come on board and play. And there's a spinner here, and I'd click the spinner and it would pick one of the players. And so, yeah, that's how it works. Look at that. I love that, right? I love that. So I already chose it and it went with the bucket. But here was okay. Here were some of the things that I was talking about. And then I can like remove that entry, remove entry. Okay. And that one's taken off. And then I'm left with the last one. I don't know. But that's really how I would like to use that. About Last Night is really supposed to be about online romance scams, um, Big Daddy Government. I don't know that I'm going to continue to use that name because I looked online and generally that name is associated with, I guess, some political perspectives out there in the world. So I'm probably going to toss that. Worker bees might have to do more with job scams. The bucket is just, look, anything that I want to talk about. And I can't remember what the one was that I just got rid of. So I'm thinking about having some categories here, but I thought I'd just start with the bucket. And I've already put some in here. So let's go ahead and see what is listed in the bucket. The bucket, just about any kind of question about scams and fraud that I feel like asking. And like I said, these are going to be pretty pretty easy questions in this first episode. So you let me know. And then also let me know about the timing. Right now I have it set up for 45 seconds. That might be a little long. It might need to be about 30 seconds for us to have some commentary about it and for people to have the option to vote. All right, so it says waiting for players to join. This is where players would be able to join. I'd have a QR code where you can join from your phone, from your computer, whatever's working for you. All right, so we don't have any players joining because I haven't set that up. I've removed the QR code. So it's just me. And then there's this thing I can set up where you can get bonus questions. All right, first question. Name bonus points. Name the person who co-founded Theranos, the company that claimed it could perform over 1,000 medical tests using one drop of blood. But it all turned out to be a fraud, a big fraud. There was actually a show that was put out. It was like a mini series kind of deal. I want to say it was on HBO. I keep thinking Netflix, but I think it was on HBO. But there are your answers below. Elizabeth Holmes, Perry Wolfgang McAllister, Bruce Sandiford, and Betty Kluger. One real name, the other three are made up. Typically, I should use real names, then people would get really off. All right, 3, 2, 1, and then time's up. Let's see who the real person is. It would be Elizabeth Holmes, if you remember. She and her partner were sentenced a while back. I think they've gone through some appeals processes there. And I did a number of videos about what was going on with this, and also read some of the letters, like I did for the Chrisleys recently, Julie Chrisley and her resentencing hearing. But that was Elizabeth Holmes, in case you don't remember. Question number 2. What should you do if you suspect an email is part of a phishing scam? Should you click on the link to verify, forward the email to your contacts for advice, contact the company directly using official contact information, or delete the email entirely? So, we're going to have a bigger discussion about this one because, yeah, but I'm going to give you a few seconds to let you answer this phishing scam. First of all, that means you have to know what a phishing scam is. And second, what to do with it. All right, we're counting down last 10 seconds. So you can let me know your answer in the comments. Even though we aren't live, you can still let me know your answer in the comment. All right, time's up. So the official answer, and I've got some of these questions online. The official answer is contact the company directly using official contact information. But I also think the last one is a good answer too. And let me talk a little bit about these. The last one is delete the email immediately. Yes, if you don't know who it's from and it has no connection to you, delete the email immediately. But usually a phishing scam is somewhat related to maybe parties that you already have a connection to, and they're trying to get more information. And so typically the concern is whether or not, it's legitimate. Then that's where you want to do that independent verification that I talk about all the time. Contact the company, not through that email, but through independent sources that you know about or that you can research. And that is the difference there. So I could totally see if somebody wanted to put the last answer for that. But I think the key on this is it's an email phishing scam. And it's typically a company that you may have some dealings with or want to. All right. Question 3. In sophisticated phishing attacks, scammers often use a tactic called spear phishing. I bet you didn't know there were all of these different terms. There's a whole, directory. You can go online and look these terms up. What differentiates spear phishing from regular phishing attacks? All right, there you go. It is exactly how it sounds. Spear phishing targets, it's more specific, individuals using highly specific personalized information. It's designed to really sort of set up this air of legitimacy so that you fall for it. Spear phishing is not a mass attack, okay? It's very targeted. Third one says spear phishing exclusively uses phone calls instead of emails. No, remember, it's like phishing, so it's emails. Spear phishing only targets government officials. No, okay? That's not true. All right. Next page. All right. Question number 4. I wish I could get rid of that part. In a SIM swapping scam, what critical piece of information do scammers typically seek to gain control of your phone number? Victim's home address, account password, social security number, IMEI. All right, it's your phone account password. That is what is going to allow them access. They're going to be able to work with your phone company. It's like, here's the password, because they just got it. Look, in the SIM swapping scam. And now they have access to all of your information. I'm looking at this big granddaddy long leg spider now crawl down the wall. All right, next. Question 5 out of 14. What is a common trait of a cryptocurrency scam known as a rug pull? What's a rug pull? All right. And it looks like I didn't change the time on all of these. So it's gone back to 15 seconds and I've lost mine. So, all right. This is a company promises high returns and then vanishes after collecting investment. It's like having the rug pulled from under you. That's where the name sort of comes from. It's not about these other things. It's not about the theft of digital wallets by hacking or manipulating cryptocurrency prices or these other things. Okay. It's really about saying, hey, here's how much money you can make. Here are the returns. And a lot of times they will even share screenshots of people. They'll show these wallets with all this money in it. Okay. To set everything up to make it look really good. Here's that air of legitimacy again. And then once you put your money in, then they're gone. You can't contact them. You can't get your money out. They're just gone. All right, question number 6. In advanced identity theft cases, criminals often use a technique called synthetic identity theft. What does this involve? You guys, I did a video on this. I only did one video on this. All right, answers below. There you go. The first one, using real identity information combined with fabricated details to create a new fake identity. So they might pull some different pieces together and then have a whole different person that they've created, a whole new name and that sort of thing. But they've got real information attached to it. So, for instance, a real social security number attached to it. But now they've got a new name instead of it being identity theft as we typically think about, where they take your stuff and pretend to be you. Now they've created a new person. All right, quiz number 7. You're like halfway through. Social engineering attacks often manipulate victims into giving away sensitive information. What is the primary method attackers use to gain trust in these attacks? All right, time's up. It's number 1, using public information to appear credible and knowledgeable about the victim. Yes, they want you to think, to let your guard down. Let's put it that way. And a lot of times, where are they getting this information? They're getting this information from your social media accounts. And so, I know a lot of us share a lot of information out there, but that's where they're getting some of this information. And so, yeah, they manipulate you by appearing to be trustworthy. They can use public information. A lot of information is available through public court systems, public databases regarding your address. And so, yeah, it's a way to look like they are legitimate. Social engineering. In 2019, actress Lori Loughlin was implicated in a massive college admissions scandal. What legal activity was she accused of participating in? You guys remember that? I think it was called like the varsity college scandal, varsity blues scandal. I don't know, something like that with all of those parents. It was paying bribes to get her daughters admitted into college. Now, she wasn't the only one involved with this, but a lot of these people who were involved were celebrities. So, yeah, paying bribes to get her daughters admitted into college. And there were people who did some other things too. Quiz question number 10. In an advanced romance scam, scammers often claim to be working overseas and unable to meet in person. What is one common reason they give for requesting money from their victim? We've talked about this, right? All right, let's see what they've got for the answer here. They need funds to cover medical expenses from an unexpected accident. So sometimes they'll say the second one about being in a business opportunity together. They'll start that whole cryptocurrency thing. It's like they're overseas, they build this relationship with you, get you sort of trusting them, but then they'll say something happened and that they need for you to loan them money. That is the typical one. And then this other one that sometimes happens is they'll start to talk about in the investing that they are doing and how they can help you make money too. Yeah. All right. So watch out for that. Question 11. And let me know if you think, more time is needed than the 15 seconds. How do scammers often use love bombing in online romance scams to manipulate their victims into trusting them? Do you know what love bombing is? It's exactly what it sounds like. All right, time's up. Let's see. They shower or bomb the victim with excessive attention, affection, and flattery in a short period of time. So you meet this person online on some, to dating site, dating platform. And you've talked to them 2 times, and all of a sudden they're saying things like, I really feel like you're my life partner. I have never had this much in common with another person. I really feel like we were meant to be together. You are just the most beautiful person in the world. I trust everything you say. I'm ready to spend my life with you. You're awesome. I'm going to send you flowers that just it's like too much. It's totally too much. And that is the bomb. They're dropping these love bombs on you all the time. And it's typically in a very short period of time. You haven't even had a chance to get to know them and already. But this is how they start to make you feel like, oh, okay, they're really invested in the relationship. And therefore you're thinking, well, wait, now, what am I doing wrong? Maybe I need to up this too and get more invested and start to trust this person. It's all a scam. It's all part of this full scheme that's been put together in order for you to sort of buy into this relationship so that they can then trick you into other things. But that's the thing. They shower you with this excessive amount of attention, all right, in a short period of time. Question 12. What is one way that scammers use social media profiles to make their fake romance persona more convincing? All right, let's see what this one says. 3, 2, 1. All of the above, okay, by creating a well-developed fake profile with photos, posts, and connections that appear it's surreal. I obviously need to um, create shorter answers here by using stolen photos of real people to make their profile seem authentic. I recently did a video that talked about reverse image search and how you can use that when you meet people online to see whether or not these are photos that have been stolen from someone else and that they don't even belong to this person. So you can definitely check that out by interacting with the victim's friends and family to build credibility. And so you almost have to do the same thing. You really have to start vetting the people that you're having relationships now. And you really can't trust them anymore. If you're young and you're just starting out, I would say that there's less of a possibility of that because people are still young. But once a person has been out in the world for a while, you can check things like their employment. Are they on LinkedIn? Who are the other people that they work with? Do they have recommendations? You need to dig down and do your research, okay? But because here's what they're doing all of this other stuff to make themselves seem real. In one of the videos recently that I talked about, the scammers actually hired a woman to appear in person. So here's the love interest, and now she's like meeting with the love interest in person. Unbelievable, right? They're paying models to do this. Quiz question 13. What is the primary reason telemarketing scams are so successful with elderly victims? All right, so you've got some answers down there to choose from. And then the last one is all of the above. And the answer is all of the above. Elderly individuals are more likely to trust strangers. Yes. Elderly individuals often have large amounts of savings and retirement funds available, which makes them even more of a target. Elderly individuals may not be familiar with digital scams and believe the calls are legitimate. Yes. So there's a learning curve there in terms of them understanding the technology that's being used to scam them. Just a lot there. All right. Last question, and then we can talk about some of this, and I can tell you about some things that I've learned even just doing this first one. Scammers often use government impersonation schemes to target elderly individuals. Which government agency do they most frequently impersonate to instill fear and urgency in the victim? Well, it is not the FBI. It is not the Social Security Administration, and it is not the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Y'all, it is the IRS. Most people I know are more concerned about the IRS coming after them than anybody else, but especially the elderly. Okay, and so this is what's used to instill a lot of fear in them. Most of the elderly are not going to be fearful of the Social Security Administration. unless they have committed a crime, they're not going to be fearful of the FBI. It's the taxes, making sure they got those taxes right and not owing a whole lot of money and worrying about that. So that's the one that's really going to bother them and cause them to do something. So that's all. That's it, y'all. That's it. I can go to stop presenting here. I mean, look at how this works. Reset slide. So I'm going to be working on all that. So let me talk about a few things here. Now, some of the questions that I used in this particular episode, I've tried to provide some additional information. These were ones I just sort of pulled from the internet. So some of this I need to double check in terms of, for instance, like the R. Kelly one that I was not familiar with. Um, but the other piece is in the future, they're going to be my own questions that I fully make up. And a lot of them are going to be pulled from some of the videos that I've done. And like I said before, resources that are out there, where to go, what to do, what to watch out for, red flags, how to trust your gut instinct so that you don't fall victim. Trust yourself more than you trust the other person. That's one of these big things that I think people just don't do. They put more value in what this other person is saying to them. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched videos and the person has said, well, I kind of got a feeling. I'm like, well, why didn't you trust yourself? Why didn't you trust yourself? A lot of times we, try to teach people to have care and empathy and concern for other people, but that doesn't come at the expense of the care, concern, and value that you have for yourself. So put yourself first and make sure that no one is out here taking advantage of you, because there are people for which that is their full time, every day, 24/7 job with no vacations and no weekends off. All right, so let me know in the comments your thoughts. We'll see where this goes, whether or not I'm going to continue to do this. This is just sort of interesting. My daughter was like, "Oh, I would watch that if you did something like that." And the other thing is, so with aha slides, like I said, there are a lot of things that I want to do with this. I'm just figuring it out now. Um, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, they have music. They have music that can play. You heard the ta-da at the beginning, but they have this sort of, like, if you're familiar with Jeopardy and some of these other shows where the music plays in the background while the people are writing the answer or thinking about the answer or have that moment. But the music is so quiz show sounding that I couldn't do it. I had to turn it off. And number one, I didn't want it to for it to be a copyright issue with YouTube. So I need to actually look at AHA slides and look at the legal terms, their terms and conditions in terms of the music and my ability to be able to do this live and have that music playing. So I need to check into that also. So there's a whole lot going on with this. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. These were just some questions I pulled from the internet doing some searches. In the future, these are going to be my questions. And I worked on I tweaked these actually and did some stuff to these so that they were a little bit mine. But again, that's why you saw some of the answers, me really sort of talking a little bit more about, well, under this circumstance, this one might be doable too, or that one. So that's why you saw me going back and forth. But this is sort of to get us started. And at this point, I see I'm just rambling. And hopefully Verizon did okay while I was recording this and everything comes out awesome. So don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. We'll be going live soon. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can be ready when we hit the road with the show. Mwah. Peace.